morning, everybody. Hope you are very well. Today, I'm going to continue my series on my head to toe MOT of your baby. Today is day 14. So, what is cow's milk protein allergy and lactose intolerance? That is what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, these milk allergies and intolerances affect about 7% of our babies. So it's not that uncommon, but when it does occur, it can be really distressing for both the baby and the mother. So what is it? Well, it's the inability to digest the protein part in the milk in the case of cow's milk protein allergy. And in the case of lactose intolerance, it is an inability to digest the milk, the sugar part of the milk, the lactose, hence lactose intolerance. Babies are not born with a very high quantity of the lactase enzyme, and it increases as they get older, and that's why we see it more in babies. So let me talk about how you would recognize these conditions in babies and how they present, because there are many different symptoms and babies will differ in how they present. So my son had a cow's milk protein allergy and he was breastfed, but when I tried to introduce formula milk to him when he started weaning, that's when the problems occurred, and he presented with vomiting quite soon after giving him formula milk. But that's my story. So let me tell you how your baby might present. So yes, they can present with vomiting about 2 hours after they have digested the milk, but it can continue up to 72 hours after your baby has fed. And they can also get bloating, tummy cramps, and diarrhea. So this can be really distressing for the baby. But along with this, they can get signs of colic, and they can get signs of reflux. And a lot of parents get confused as to whether their baby has got a cow's milk protein allergy or whether they have got reflux. And tomorrow I will talk more about the management of reflux. So those are the signs and symptoms, but another characteristic sign is that they can develop skin allergies. So with cow's milk protein allergy, they get this characteristic redness on the skin, red dry rash over the cheekbones normally, but can appear anywhere on the body. And this is the allergic reaction to the cow's milk protein. So if your baby has got any of these signs or symptoms, it's really important that you get them investigated by a doctor. Now, we should never self-diagnose our babies. It is really important not to change your baby's milk without consulting a GP to get an allergy or an intolerance confirmed. So how do we test for cow's milk protein allergy? Well, there are a number of ways that we can do it. So the first one is skin testing, and that's the route that I chose for my son. So what they do is that they'll put a few drops of the cow's milk on the baby's skin, and they will just do a little pinprick specialized needle into the skin, and they look for a reaction. And the reaction, if it's quite severe, will come up more or less straight away. And that was the case with my son. But it can take time for it to develop. So normally you would go back and read it the following day. So that's the first way you can do it, through a skin prick test. The second way that you can do it is through having a blood test. Now, when we do a blood test, what we're looking for in the blood is called an IgE test. And that will confirm whether your baby has cow's milk protein allergy or not. But this is used in combination with a history. So this is why it's really important for you to go and see your GP and have it confirmed through the history. They may go and suggest to have either the skin test or the blood test. But what they will also advise you to do is to do a food elimination diet. So if your baby is on solids and on formula milk, what they would advise is that you cut out all dairy products. So this will be any form of milk, eggs, cheese, yogurt, those types of things. And they will prescribe hydrolyzed milk. This is where the milk, the casein is broken down, so it's much easier for the baby to digest, and it's on a prescription. So that will be tried out for about 2 to 6 weeks. And if the baby's symptoms disappear, then obviously it will be the cow's milk protein that's causing the problem. And then what we do to reconfirm it is that we start introducing cow's milk protein back into the diet. And if the vomiting starts, or the diarrhea, or the skin problems, or whatever it is that affects your baby from the allergy, this then will reconfirm that your baby has a cow's milk protein allergy. Now, some of you might be asking, but what do I do if I'm breastfeeding and my baby is showing these symptoms? Well, it's really important that you continue to breastfeed, because as I spoke about before, breast milk has a lot of antibodies in it, and it's quite soothing for the baby who is having these symptoms. But what you need to do as a breastfeeding mother is to cut out any dairy products from your diet, I'm afraid. So that's really important. Now, the good news is that the cow's milk protein allergy doesn't go on forever. It's really just found in babies, and it does get much better as your baby gets older. And normally by the time your child is 2 or 3 years old, it has completely resolved itself. And the way that we do this is we give them a cow's milk protein challenge and start reintroducing cow's milk into the diet in a very gradual way. And the baby or toddler by that time is able to tolerate it much more. So let me talk a little bit now about lactose intolerance, because we see this in babies as well. And they can present in very similar ways to how a baby with cow's milk protein allergy will present all of those gastrointestinal upsets. And they will have characteristic kind of frothy poos, is how I would explain them. Now, again, it's really important that you don't self-diagnose these things, particularly if you have got allergies in your family. You might be more tempted to say, oh, yes, I've got a cow's milk protein allergy or a lactose intolerance. I'm sure my baby has too, and I just know what to do. Go to your GP and get it confirmed and documented. Now, again, the way that we diagnose or confirm a lactose intolerance is that we do it through a hydrogen breath test. Now, this can be a little bit tricky if you've got quite a small baby, because what they need to do is breathe into a bag, and they take a specialized drink a test fluid after breathing into the bag, and then they do a post test of breathing into the bag, and they measure the amount of hydrogen in it. They have to be fasting overnight to be able to do this as well. And that, as you can imagine, can be really quite tricky for a young baby to do. So the alternative test that we do is a stool sample, and in the stool sample we're looking for the acidity in the stool, really. So those are really what you need to look out for, and the management. Now, what do we do about them? Well, it's really easy to treat them and manage them. With a cow's milk protein allergy, you have to get your baby to drink a special formula milk, a hydrolyzed milk, and it can be a little bit yucky to taste, so it might be tricky for your baby to convert over to that initially. But once they know that they're not going to get all of those nasty symptoms of cramping and colic and vomiting, they normally will accept it after a few bottles. In the case of a lactose intolerant baby, again, we have to give them a lactose free milk. So these are prescribed by your GP. You can get them over the counter as well, but for any of you that maybe they can be quite expensive, so you can get them, as I said, by prescription if it has been diagnosed by the GP. So there you have it, all things to do with cow's milk protein allergy and lactose intolerance. If you found this video useful, please do give me a like or a comment. I just wanted to remind you that tomorrow I am doing a live masterclass on how to get your child to sleep. So any of you parents watching this or grandparents, do tell your friends if they are having any sleep difficulties or challenges with their baby to sign up for my masterclass tomorrow. I will put the details in the comments. Now, tomorrow I will be in my business page at 9:30 a.m. BST. So I hope you have enjoyed my series so far. If you have, please, as I said, do comment to encourage me along the way. All right, parents and grandparents and carers, whoever is looking at this video today, I hope you got some learning from it, and you can pass my hints and tips on to your friends and family. Until tomorrow, have a great day, everybody. Happy parenting. Bye-bye.